The current is muddy and unhurried. Nothing out of the ordinary, except for what's resting in the shallows. The animal every other creature on this river is supposed to fear. A mature Nile crocodile, easily 12 feet long, lies dead in the mud. But it isn't the fact that it's dead that grabs you. It's how it's dead. The body has been split into two pieces, sliced apart just ahead of the back legs, as though someone dropped an axe straight down through its spine. No drag marks, no gnawed-on carcass. Nobody fed on this thing. Something simply severed it and walked away, leaving both halves right where they fell. This isn't a campfire exaggeration either. Back in 1956, a British zoologist by the name of Hugh Cott, a man who logged years crouched along East African riverbanks studying these reptiles, stumbled onto this exact scene near the Semliki River in what is now Uganda. A grown crocodile cut clean in two just forward of the hind legs, as though a blade had done the work. Which leaves exactly one question worth asking. What in this landscape has the muscle and the sheer nerve to bite a crocodile in half? Let's work this like a crime scene, one name at a time. Suspect 1. Another crocodile. They share the same water and they absolutely do kill each other. But that's not how crocodiles finish a fight. They latch on and roll, the death spin, which twists a limb free and shreds flesh into ragged strips. Messy, chaotic. A wound you'd recognize as a bite gone wrong, not a single surgical cut through the backbone. And think about what crocodile teeth are actually for. They're built to clamp and hold, not to slice. A crocodile physically could not have done this. Scratch it off the list. Suspect 2. An elephant. Elephants can crush almost anything on this continent, but elephants do their killing on dry land or right at the waterline, never out in open channel like this. And an elephant always signs its work. Flattened brush, snapped saplings, deep puncture wounds from the tusks, ground stamped into pulp. None of that is here. Just river and two halves of a crocodile. Cross it off. Suspect 3. A lion. Maybe a pride jumped it at a crossing point. Except lions treat deep water like poison. They barely go near it. And that instinct, as you'll see, isn't timidity. It's survival math. No cat pulled this off. Suspect 4. A poacher. No blade on earth leaves an edge like that in living bone, and there's no bullet wound anywhere. Besides, a poacher wants the hide, the teeth, the money parts, and this carcass was left whole, untouched, worth nothing to anybody. Cross it off. So look at what's actually left standing. Whatever did this lives in the water. It's heavier than a 12-foot crocodile. It can drive its jaws straight down through bony armor in one vertical stroke. And here's the part that should really bother you. It didn't do this because it was hungry. Think about that for a second because it changes the whole shape of the mystery. A predator kills to eat. It drags its prize somewhere quiet, it feeds, it leaves scraps. Nothing here fits that pattern. Whatever did this had the crocodile completely at its mercy and simply walked, or swam, away from a meal it never intended to take. That's not predation, that's something closer to an execution. Whatever lives in this water isn't hunting, it's enforcing something. This is where the story flips, because the culprit isn't some hidden monster. You've seen it 1,000 times. It's stitched onto backpacks, stuffed and sold as a nursery toy, grinning through children's cartoons. It's the hippopotamus. Picture it. Round, sleepy-eyed, harmless. Now delete that image because it's fiction. The actual animal is estimated to kill somewhere around 500 people across Africa every year, more than any other large mammal on the continent, lions included. And it isn't eating anyone. Hippos are strict grazers. It kills purely for reasons we're about to get into. But first, understand exactly what you're dealing with, because this isn't some far-off jungle myth. Every fisherman working these rivers knows it firsthand. A hippo can splinter a wooden canoe like kindling and drag the occupants down with the wreckage. It's on camera. It's been photographed repeatedly. In 2009, in South Africa, a group of tourists filmed a territorial bull bite a 13-foot crocodile clean in half, the same wound Hugh Cott had documented over 50 years before. And this animal is not slow. Across short ground, a charging hippo can hit nearly 20 miles an hour, faster than any human sprinter. Now consider the design. The hippo is the third largest land mammal alive, trailing only elephants and rhinos. A large bull can top 9,000 pounds, more than 4 tons packed under 2 inches of hide. Its eyes, ears, and nostrils are all mounted on top of its skull, letting it lie almost completely submerged while barely breaking the surface. A grass-eating submarine. Its skeleton is so dense the animal has virtually no buoyancy. Left alone, it drops straight to the bottom. And beneath that gray hide it oozes a reddish, oily secretion that dries into a built-in sunblock, which is where the old myth about hippos sweating blood comes from. Nothing about this creature is what it looks like on the surface. Then there's the mouth. A hippo's jaw hinges open to roughly a 150-degree gape, about triple what a human jaw can manage, spreading 4 or 5 feet wide at full extension. When a hippo yawns in your direction, it isn't tired. That's a warning. It's flashing its arsenal and hoping you take the hint. And the arsenal is genuinely absurd. Solid ivory tusks up to 20 inches long, growing continuously for the animal's entire life. They're not for chewing. Hippos crop grass with their lips. These teeth exist purely for combat. And here's a detail worth remembering. Every time the jaw snaps shut, the lower tusks scrape against the upper set and resharpen themselves. A living blade that gets keener with every single bite. It spends its whole life unknowingly keeping its own weapons razor-ready. Behind that jaw sits a bite force near 1,800 pounds per square inch, enough to fold a canoe in half. Enough, as we've established, to sever a crocodile. And yet raw power alone doesn't explain this kill, because on paper, the crocodile should win this fight every time. Look at what a Nile crocodile actually brings to the table. Its bite ranks among the strongest ever measured in any living animal, with estimates reaching 5,000 pounds per square inch, stronger than the hippos. Its back and sides are armored in bony plates grown right into the skin, turning it into something closer to a tank than a reptile. Its basic body plan is over 200 million years old. A blueprint so efficient it survived the extinction of the dinosaurs essentially unchanged. It can hold perfectly still underwater for hours, slowing its own pulse and rerouting blood only where it's needed, with a patience no warm-blooded animal can match. Its jaw is lined with pressure receptors so sensitive they register a single ripple crossing the surface, the footstep of a bird, the twitch of prey a body length away. That sensitivity is why wildebeest die by the hundreds at river crossings, and why lions won't set foot in the water at all. So how does an herbivore take one down? Here's the twist, and it's almost unfair. A crocodile's jaw is a design flaw wearing a mask of terror. The muscles that slam it shut are among the most powerful in nature. But the muscles that open it are so feeble that a grown man can hold a crocodile's mouth closed with his bare hands. All of that force runs in exactly one direction. Keep that in mind. It matters in about 90 seconds. There's one final ingredient to this puzzle: geography. During the dry season, rivers like the Mara start to shrink. A wide, flowing channel breaks into a string of cramped, evaporating pools, and animals that would normally keep a wary distance from each other are suddenly packed shoulder to shoulder in the same shrinking mud hole, day after day, with nowhere left to go. Space that used to keep tempers cool simply isn't there anymore. Field researchers monitoring one African river clocked aggressive encounters between the two species, jumping roughly 300% during the harshest droughts. Smaller water, more violence. It's a straightforward equation once you see it laid out, and it plays out the same way, season after season, all across the continent. A hippo that would tolerate a crocodile drifting past at 50 yards has no tolerance left to spare when that same crocodile is suddenly 5 feet away, in water barely deep enough to cover either of them. And inside that shrinking, overcrowded world, there's one law almost nothing survives breaking. The river belongs to the hippo. All of it, not just a share of it. A dominant bull guards his stretch the way a warlord guards a border. No negotiation, no second warning. It's the exact same instinct that makes a hippo destroy a passing fishing boat. He's not hunting a meal, he's spotting an intruder in his territory, and an intruder only gets one response. The crocodile is about to get that same response. Picture the final mistake this crocodile makes. It drifts too close. Maybe, jammed into that shrinking pool, it brushes a calf by accident. In that moment, on that day, that's all it takes. The crocodile does what crocodiles have done for 200 million years, jaws open, hiss, teeth bared. To nearly everything else in Africa, that's the end of the conversation. The hippo doesn't stop. 3 tons launch off the riverbed at once. Remember, this animal doesn't float or paddle. It runs along the bottom, shoving off the mud with those short, powerful legs, closing distance faster than something its size has any business moving. The crocodile tries to whip its tail around, its one real weapon, but there's no space. The pool's too small. The deep channel that would have saved it dried up months ago. The hippo's jaws close over the middle of the crocodile's body, tusks driving in from underneath, through the one part never covered in armor, the belly. They punch upward through the organs while the bony plates along the spine resist, just for an instant, and that instant is where physics takes over. What's clamped in that jaw is, in engineering terms, simply a beam, a rigid length with enormous force concentrated dead center and nothing underneath to brace it. Every beam has a breaking point. It snaps. The spine gives way. Within seconds, the animal that had every other creature on this river terrified is a motionless shape drifting in the current. The hippo releases it. No feeding. It was never after food. It sinks back into the water, exhales hard through its nostrils, and settles back into that same drowsy, harmless-looking face, the lunchbox face, the storybook face, as though none of it happened. That's the real animal, not the cartoon, not the stuffed toy. A quiet grass eater capable of turning a river red to defend a puddle of territory, then going right back to grazing. Hugh Cott documented it in 1956, and researchers and photographers have kept documenting it ever since. Hippos having crocodiles, driving them out of shared water, closing ranks around a threatened calf and drowning whatever crossed the line. The pattern basically never fails. When a healthy adult hippo decides a crocodile has to leave, it leaves, one way or another. So here's a question for you. Strip away the water entirely. Put both animals on flat, open ground, no river to vanish into, no shrinking pool to corner it in. Does the crocodile finally have a shot? Or does it end the same way it ended on the Mara? Drop your answer below and be specific because I actually read these. And if you've never once thought of the hippo as the most dangerous large animal in Africa, this channel's for you. Stick around.